Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I took a 6-week pottery course and learned the basics behind the wheel to create my own pieces. I'm going to be taking you along in that journey so that you know what to expect if you decide to take one, or even if you just want to get started at home or just want to watch me struggle. But before we get into the video, please remember to give us that like button if you like this video and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos like this. Now, let's get into the video. I took my course at Studio 72. Courses run throughout the year, and once enrolled in a course, your classes run every week for 6 weeks. My classes were on Tuesdays from 1 to 4 p.m. from November 2nd to December 7th. The cost of this course was $210. That included 1 box of regular clay. Prices may have changed since last time, but this is what I paid when I took it. Additionally, you need to purchase your own pottery kit. I got mine off of Amazon and found this kit worked for me. This kit included everything you needed for beginner pottery and was fairly inexpensive from the other kits I saw. It was also recommended that you bring your own apron. That's not necessary, but it would be highly recommended, especially since I got so dirty. And if you need more clay, which I didn't in this case, that would be around $37. Here's how the studio looked inside. There were other rooms available, and I think that's where other classes were held, or even if you just want to come individually. But this was our room. In this room is where the curing of the pottery was, and oh my gosh, these machines were so hot. During our first class, we learned basics and how to get started and set up. So here's my instructor teaching us about wedging. This is used to get all the air out of the clay. This honestly took so much arm strength, and by the end of this course, I was still struggling in this part. We have to make it look like a monkey. I took way too much for my first time, so I had to cut it in half. And you just slam it just so that there's no cracks in it when you put it on your pot. And here's our instructor just showing us how to put it in the middle and hit it so that it really gets on there. She was honestly a pro.
Slow and steady. So I've just made it a lot skinnier. And then I take this and I hold the tool.
Look how satisfying that is.
This is how you can get.
That wasn't too bad for my first time. Now, let's just smack it. So here I am trying to center it. And I just can't seem to get it.
Here's the center now. Let me take a look.
Yeah, yes please.
Go with me.
It's kind of wobbly.
Okay, let me see your hand.
open it up, you just put your fingers in and you start pressing down. And then once you've pressed down, you can start moving outwards. Here I am pressing the bottom, just so it's compact. Oops. Here we're learning a technique about how to lift the walls.
We have to slow down our wheels. And I want everybody to look up here and make your butterfly hands with your right hand underneath your left hand. And then you're going to have two little pointer fingers. We're going to start to try it like this with your fingers on either side of the wall, gently pulling up. But if you think you need more power or if your plate is a bit more stiff, try that trick with the U on the outside hand to lift. You're going to go slow. I want to go 1, 2, 3, and then let go. Get a little cut.
There we go. I broke mine.
That's okay. No, see, everybody's doing this. It's all about just figuring out.
And here is my first masterpiece. And then here are the other pieces I made. Hey guys, so I just finished my first class and I'm just driving back home right now. Yeah, it was a pretty fun class. I definitely learned a lot. I had a lot of flops, but yeah, it was pretty fun. I'm quite dirty and my hair is in a ponytail at first, but then I quickly realized that it should probably be up and out of my face for a little bit, especially if I'm going to be like folding right over and working on the clay. But yeah, definitely would recommend it. Day one was definitely a success. I learned a lot and I really like our instructor. She's very helpful and very knowledgeable and super patient and kind, which is all things that I absolutely love. So yeah. For our second class, we learned how to make handles. We also learned trimming, which is used to refine the piece and give it more of a finished look. All of these art pieces were from the week prior. They just needed some time to dry, not fully dry, but dry enough so that when we flip it over to trim the bottom and give it a finished look, that it won't fall apart. So I broke it. Now let's see if I can fix it. Or maybe just like make some cool design because, yeah, this is broken. So I kind of fixed it. I really like what I did at the bottom. This little edge that I worked on. I really enjoy that. I also like how it has like, I think they called it a lip. But I really like that. And maybe I added that. I have no idea. But look, the top, all smooth. This is the next item I'm working on. It's a cup, or a mug, actually. This is how the bottom looks like. I think this one turned out really well. Super happy. For our third class, we learned how to create larger clay pieces. So here's our instructor showing us how to create and prepare a larger clay piece.
down, but when you start to open up, you can use your thumbs as well because they're nice and sturdy. I sometimes open with my thumbs like this, but you can totally just open with our fingers like we have been. And then we lift. And I want to make sure everybody's starting right at the very bottom of their clay, because this is all super important. We don't want to leave it behind and forget it. And it's also super important that we are lifting straight up. Even though we're going to have a beautiful wide bowl, we still need to be lifting right up, because if you're just going right out, it'll collapse on you before you get it to what you want to do. So it goes up and then we shape. And I want you to try your best to get your rim feeling quite strong and, sturdy. We don't want a little tiny paper razor thin rim, especially with bowls, because when you're trimming, you don't want to be trimming on the smallest rim ever. And also, the rim is going to be a really high touch point for when you're using it in life, so it's the most likely to chip if you have it super thin. And we don't want that. We want it to last. So, all the same principles, slow and steady lifting like we've been doing, really gentle, steady hands. And we want to always have it in our hands like this. So push right in those little grooves, and then rotate and move your hands up. And all we have to do is do this. And ta-da.
I know you don't want me to take pictures here. I figured you wouldn't.
I want fast, fast, fast. Fast on the wheel, yep. And let off gently. Because we want to also take all this clay. I'll be leaving glazes and it splashes up and I'm like, you have to engage your whole core. Seriously though. I know people are like, why is my body so sore? I'm like, yeah, because you got to use your muscles. Beautiful. Now push down. Yeah.
I didn't think pottery would be this physically taxing.
Oh, literally, it is a time. Want this? Splat one.
Remember to tie that bad boy up, Bills. You don't want to get the strings caught in anything. That bowl looks dope as frig, though.
I know. See? Really gentle, and once you are happy, stop.
Here are all the pieces I created.
To fix something first? Yeah, perfect.
For our 5th class, we just continued practicing all the skills that we learned.
Beautiful.
For our 6th class, that's when we did the fun stuff. I forgot the actual term for this, but we were basically dipping our clay into paint colors. Before we dip them in though, we had to prepare them. And you just want to coat the bottom with wax so that once it goes into the curing machine, it doesn't stick to the bottom of the curing machine. So here I am, carefully waxing it. The wax will prevent the paint from attaching to the bottom because the paint is what's going to make it stick to the bottom of the curing machine. You have to give it a good stir before you put in your pottery, just so that it gets a good consistent color. And as you can see, that is the final
Hilbert, do you want to do any of your
wet look.
stars that color?
This was supposed to be green. It actually turned out purple, which I'm not too sure why, but yes, it turned out a strange color. And here are all my pieces while they're still wet and drying from the paint.
This greeny kind of color, so you can flick whatever color really.
The red, weird enough, is actually black.
The dark gray. Kind of.
My stuff was ready to pick up approximately 2 weeks after, on December 20th. I still do have a couple pieces at the studio that still need to get finished, but these were the pieces that I needed for Christmas because I was giving them as Christmas gifts. So here were the cups I made. This was supposed to be an espresso, but didn't really turn out very well. Here's a candle holder that I made. Here's a random assortment of small bowls that I made. They were actually all attempts to be egg holders, but only one ended up being a good egg holder. Here was a random assortment of bowls that I made. Here is a bunny that I made. I didn't use the machine for this. It was just done by hand. And here is some ornaments that I made. All you do is just flatten it out like cookies and then use a cookie cutter to cut them out. So my overall thoughts about pottery was it was excellent. I loved it. I would highly recommend it to anyone. I had a great time. There are different levels that you can take. So of course every class is the same, but you kind of learn a lot more specific skills and new techniques and get to learn how to create bigger pieces, which would definitely be really enjoyable. I feel like it would be also stressful, but enjoyable. So yeah, I think I would definitely take another course. Maybe sometime in the new year I'll take one, but the classes do fill up pretty fast. So if you are going to take one, definitely try to plan that ahead of time. And will I be starting my own pottery business? Probably not. It's a lot of work, requires a lot of skill that I just haven't learned yet, and a lot of time, and the equipment is quite expensive. So yeah, the clay is not as expensive as I expected, but to heat it up and to cure it and to color it and everything that kind of comes behind the scenes that we don't really have to worry about as students is quite expensive. I don't even want to know how much that curing machine is and the maintenance behind it, and I just, yeah, nope, not really for me. So no, I will not be starting my own pottery business, but maybe I'll take it on as a hobby. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making everything. And I really hope that you guys decide to try pottery one day because it is fun. If you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe down below if you want to keep seeing videos like this. But until next time, bye guys.
We keep dancing with the devil, but he doesn't have a back, no, no.